Hi guys, I'd like to talk to you about the focal dystonia that I've been trying to work on for a while now. Some of you may be aware that I've had the problem. If you're unfamiliar with the problem, basically it seems to be a neurological problem where your muscles aren't necessarily working correctly. In my case, it started off when I tried to develop French grip in my left hand, and basically just started having a lot of issues with my stick, especially my wrist being able to curl in, stuff like that, as opposed to being able to play. Problem got worse and worse. I couldn't even play using my old grip. And so that's been about 18 months that I've been trying to fix this. Yeah, so basically, going to try and talk through it. I'll try and keep it as quick as I can. So probably the main thing, obviously, that you have to do to start with, take some time away from the drums. I stopped for about 2 weeks and then I was going stir crazy and I had a couple of ideas and it ended up working out pretty well. But the rest is really important. You need to give your mind a chance to reset. If you're like me, I was getting extremely frustrated with my left hand, to the point where I'm sitting there going, I'm ready to stop playing, and that's 23 years of playing drums, and it was that frustrating for me. Obviously, that hasn't happened. I don't like giving up. And as a result, I do have some good news. It's not 100% gone, probably maybe 80% I've been able to recover my left hand. It's still not the best as it could be, but I'll try and explain what I've done that's helped. The first thing that was really useful was keeping in mind that you need to be bouncing the stick. So we're not holding the stick and letting it do the work like this, where keep hitting close. You want to think of it like a ball that you're bouncing on the ground. You're holding your hand very loose and you're just letting the stick do the work. Easiest way to think about it is throw the stick down and let the stick pull your hand as you go back. I have explained this in a previous video, but if you haven't seen that or if you're not familiar with it, it's good to know. This should be pretty standard technique for all drummers. You're letting the stick do the work, whether it's finger control or whether it's your wrists, or a combination of the two. Let the stick do the work. You should be completely relaxed, and when you let go, the stick should basically, it's getting stuck because it's frayed, but that's how you hold the stick. It's just going to fall out. The second thing was when I was working on fixing the fulcrum, which I suspected was a big issue, was that it became apparent to me that my fingers were not sitting in the right position to start with. So when you're doing this correctly, your first knuckles here should be relatively straight when you're holding the stick open. And they really don't actually curl in all that much. The fingertips just kind of barely stop the stick from leaping out. So if you're just thumb and index finger, you can see it moves quite far. That was something that I sort of became apparent, was that my left hand, they were curling in quite a lot more than the right. And the other thing that I noticed was that my pinky tends to lock onto the stick quite a lot. Even if I try and hold it loose, I'm feeling the pinky still restricting the movement of the stick. And it's this is when I worked out what's been wrong with my technique with my left hand over the last 20 years or so, is that instead of the fulcrum being where the thumb is, the fulcrum has been where the pinky is. So instead of rotating at this point, the hand is rotating at the pinky. Obviously that's a problem. That has basically, it's put the brakes on. I've been very restricted with speed. It's improved slightly over the years, but I never sort of really worked out what was going on. It probably would have been smart for me to get a teacher again and say, can you help me with this? I don't know what's going on, because I really didn't know. So the main thing I've been trying to work on recently is my perception of my hand. So instead of thinking, all right, I need to hold the stick, I need to have my fingers in the right place, I've actually been sitting there going, I need to have my fingers open and I need to have them pointed down. Sorry, not pointed down, I need to have them pointed so the hand is facing flat. And what this has actually done is it's actually put my hand in the right position to play. Because my perception of how my hand was sitting was that I was doing all this stuff and I was doing it right, when in reality my perception was wrong as to what was actually occurring. So I'm getting this idea of bouncing the ball and trying to keep my hand open and out flat, and all of a sudden the stick's doing more of the work. It's not perfect, it still needs a lot of work. The other thing I want to be doing is to have more control with the middle finger fulcrum again with this hand, because that's what's comfortable with my right hand. I can do both, index finger and middle finger, but middle fingers always worked a bit better for me. But if I try and create that fulcrum in my left hand, you can see I'm having a lot of trouble, and what will happen is my wrist then curls in, which you might have seen if you've seen my video of the haunted drum cover. You'll see that at rest my hand is doing this a lot, which is I have good days and bad days, and that's generally a symptom of the focal dystonia, is that it's something that it's quite involuntary. I'm aware of it. Again, all the stuff I'm doing is working towards fixing it. You'll probably also notice as well that I'm constantly adjusting my fingers and I'm trying to stretch out the hand, because it does feel like there's little bits of tension that keep popping up whether I'm holding the stick. Sometimes when I'm at rest, something that doesn't happen as much anymore is if I curl my fingers in, they would tend to then get to about this point and the whole hand would curl in. As you can see, that's improved quite a lot. I still, that last little bit, it tends to, I don't have as much control like on my right hand. I can just do whatever I like, it does exactly what I want. So I'm still working through this stuff. As far as the focal dystonia goes, in all the research I've done, there's still basically no proper fix for it. I can't find anything about any physiotherapy that works. There's Botox injections, which, from my understanding, serve to kill the nerve signals. If you want to do that, that's fine. To me, that doesn't fix the problem. You just, you're trying to work around it, but let's, focus on trying to fix the problem if we can. And I feel like that's maybe taken away from that. So basically, to sum up, trying to keep my hand open, trying to keep it relaxed, trying to bounce the stick and let it do the work. Actually, the other thing was building the strength in your thumb, so letting your thumb do more work. This is something I picked up from Chris Bryan, was just buzz the stick and just use your index finger and your thumb, a little bit of pressure, try and let the stick do all the work. It's helping. You can see that my left hand is not, the posture's not great. Again, I'm still working on it, but I'm also trying to force my fingers to stay open at the same time, staying relaxed. And I found that I need to sometimes have the thumb under the stick like that. Sometimes I can hold it like that, but it really just depends on how my hand feels at the time. It tends to vary from day to day, and it can even change up within the same practice session. So that's about it. If you've got any questions or comments, feel free to, leave a comment. If you're a beginner, I highly recommend that you talk to your teacher if you've got some issues with your technique. If you feel like something's not right, fix it early. Don't wait 20 years in and then, suddenly discover that you feeling like you need to quit your instrument because you haven't fixed this problem and it's gotten worse. There are plenty of musicians out there who suffer from focal dystonia, and it's not just drummers. I've found evidence of guitarists, bassists, pianists, basically anyone who works with their hands, typically musicians. It can come about after a change in technique. So for me, the trigger was trying to develop French grip. My hand was in the wrong position, a whole lot of stuff went wrong, and that's where it started for me. So fix your technique early, talk to your teacher, really focus on it, get your fulcrum right, that's the main thing. Keep your hand relaxed. I have been working on some new songs. I'm not going to say what they are. I mean, apart from I'm still working through Images and Words by Dream Theater, hence the shirt. I was actually trying to record today, but I put a beater through the bass drum head, so that's put a stop to that. That one's coming. I've got some Between the Buried and Me that I'm working on that I really like to show you guys, because a band I've really been enjoying playing. Yeah, so stay tuned. Hopefully I'll have something for you soon, and yeah, keep drumming. Look after your hands, look after your feet. Thank you.